do. Someone in chat, let me know when I'm live. Oh, Cody says I'm live. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm here to bore you with a bunch of games from my childhood. 1988. That's not far back enough. We'll go further back. All right. So to start off is a game that's really close to my heart. It's kind of broadened my imagination for what games could really handle at the time. So this is Star Saga 1. Um, Most of the game is text like this, and there's no music. So if you like to have some music, find some yourself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the game up into the corner here, and what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the map here. So this is the map of Star Saga. And Star Saga came in a large cardboard box. Came out for multiple computer systems, DOS, Apple II, a bunch of other ones. Volume is low. Yeah, well, my volume is naturally low, unfortunately, and I don't want to mess with my levels. So yeah, I'll adjust any games that have volume, but for the most part, most of the games don't have any sound at all. So it's just me talking. You can hear the crickets too, I'm sure. So this is the map that you get. This game is strange in the way that it presents itself. It's almost like a board game slash computer game. So it has a computer. The computer disk controls all the background actions. Like you would choose what you want to do, and then you would map it out on the board game here. It also came with a whole lot of different. Go to here's the crickets. Needs more Dark Tower. Yeah. You know, I when Goaty suggested that I play some games, it took a while to actually find some games that I wanted to play. I thought I could play a bunch of different systems, but everybody's doing that, so I want to do something a little bit different and bore you all. So this is the introduction here. Star Saga 1 Beyond the Boundary. Yeah, that's a lot of reading. So you can pause the stream and read that yourself, or just basically the summary is something happened long, long ago, and now the year is 2800. Most of the human race lives beyond or behind what they call the boundary um, of the nine worlds. And this goes through the history of, okay, in 2200, we started traveling the stars. To 2490, a great plague attacked the human race. And so they withdrew back to the nine worlds, which includes Earth and 8 other worlds. And then, yeah, so you choose your character. You can play as Lauren, Corin, Jean, MJ, Valentine, and Professor Lee Dambrook. We are actually only going to choose one character. We're going to play as Lauren, just for a sample. So each character starts with that basic description here. Let me read through them. So Lauren is a mystic of disciple of the ancient final Church of Man, one of the 3 leading theologians. Lauren has violated church dogma, and Darkwatch has now crossed the boundary in the ship Jihad, seeking holy relics which will reveal the final truth of man. Jean is an engineer, basically trying to create the perfect ship. Valentine lives beyond the 9 worlds in what are kind of like an outcast humans, and he is in charge of kind of like a mafia family where he's about to take over the business, but he wants to branch out on his own. Corrin is everyone else is from the Nine Worlds. Corrin comes from one of the worlds where they have a prophecy of an ancient stone, and for 20 generations they have selected one person to go search for the stone and return it back to the Nine Worlds. Something about the stone is supposed to be special. MJ is a boundary enforcer. He recently had a difference of opinion with an admiral of the patrol, and he has been reassigned outside of the boundary, which is basically banishment, because nobody is allowed to enter through the boundary or pass through it. But eventually, in the game, you do pass through it. Professor Lee Dambrook wants to study xenobiology, so alien races and civilizations. His goal is to learn about aliens as much as possible, and yeah, so that's a brief summary. So how's everyone doing? Oh, you guys see the EP file? Yes. Yeah. All right. I don't have the room to read chat much during this, so I just switch back and forth. So once you choose your character, and you can play a single player game or you can play with friends. You can play all 6 characters at once. It takes a long time to play this game, but the writing is really well done, and I think it's really rewarding to play through it. So Lauren, you're a disciple Lauren Darkwatch, a revered High Counselor of the Final Church Man. You are the youngest disciple ever to reach this office, one that commands respect even at the church's headquarters on the planet Kothia. Your gifts of persuasion and insight have made you, over the years, one of the most widely read and successful scholars the church has had in 300-year history. You have devoted your life to studying and interpreting the holy text files, the 6 books in which the founders of the church wrote down the final truth. You have always accepted the final truth without question. However, at the same time, you have always regarded the final truth as incomplete. The problem that bothers you is simple. Preface to the first text file is in the original copy written by the founders themselves, entitled Preface to the 7 Texts Files of the Final Church of Man. Yet there are in fact only 6 text files in the set. To your mind, this is not at all final. Some claim that the discrepancy is simple misprint. Others believe that it is symbolic of the gap between the final truth and the perfect truth. Only very few claim that the 7th file really does exist and has been lost or hidden. Whatever the explanation, you feel that you must find the answer. It is not enough for you that the final truth be true. It must be the total truth, as the founders intended. If there really is a 7th text file, as the founders imply, then it is your scholarly and religious duty to find it. So she brings that up with her or him. I don't know, Lauren. What do you think? Is that a guy or girl? Brings it up with um, superiors. Superiors shoot her down, and then a few days ago, you recall, before your superiors were all but forbidden to continue this line of research. You left the meeting feeling disquieted and unhappy. You returned to your quarters and fell into a deep, exhausted sleep. And then everyone has this dream, although they don't know this at the beginning. You sleep and dream of the myriad heavens beyond the boundary. You fly, twisting and twirling away from the mundane worlds of the stagnant, placid humanity and out to the stars. What lies out there? Your dreaming mind seems to have the answer, which it slowly unfolds for you as you swoop and dart and fly out into the void. You see planets of gas and planets of metal, Earth-like alien civilizations and others so strange you wonder at your own power to imagine them. You see little green men dancing beneath coconut trees on the shores of a big pink lake. You see a planet slowly unfolding itself, stretching and groaning until it becomes a human figure, winking and waving as you pass by. You see an alien ship trapped in a cave on a world where the skies are exploding. On, closer to the galactic core you float. Then you come face to face with a dragon, an old menace, newly awakened, uncurling his green scaly bulk from the caverns of time, and once again stretching out his talons to seize the galaxy. You evade him once, twice, and nearly get by, near enough to the galactic core to hear a voice repeating over and over the question, "Do you have the message? Do you have the message?" Suddenly the dragon is again before you, straining at its golden leash to render you asunder. He opens his mouth and extends his tongue and begins an eerie howling, sound almost beyond your hearing that oscillates up and down, up and down. Your own mind swells to the noise, even as your body again evades the dragon's claws, swells until it engulfs the universe. All you can hear is the keening of the dragon and the endless repeated, "Do you have the message?" So, based on that dream, she gathers her things, gathers a ship, and breaches the boundary in search of the final text. She's basically excommunicated from her from the Okothia and deemed a heretic. So you get a little more background on the Final Church Man. No other character really gets this kind of background. So yeah, you can look that up later if you like. But we'll get to the game itself here. So when the game starts, you're given this map, and we're going to start a new game. We're going to add Lauren to the game. So here you can see you can add different characters, or you can remove them. So we're going to add Lauren, and each character can take their turn in any order, but only one person can take a turn before any other. And you can actually enable and disable characters as you're playing them. So if you have like a group that you play with or something, you can, remove them from the playing list and they'll just sit on whatever planet they're at. So the first turn here is takeoff, O-V-G-B-O, and then land. So you get 7 action points, action phases per turn, and each action takes a certain number of phases. Just remove the map here. So based on the map here, you can see where I moved. I moved it from the 9 worlds, the green one, to the orange, to the violet, to the green, to the blue, to the orange, and landed on Medsun. So here is a list of most of the phases that can take up turns. So we land on Medsun, and we reach a point here that I haven't gone over yet, but I'm going to remove the instructions for now and add up the passage list. So here's the passage list, and the game itself, I told you it came in a big box, and it came on 1 or 2 floppy disks. But most of the text occurs inside these booklets that came with the game. The booklets, there are 13 of them, and they contain all 888 passages of the game. And the passages can range from huge, like this one, where it describes what Medsun is like. Medsun, according to limited information in your computer's Ghost Worlds files, supports one of the oldest, most successful human colonies outside the 9 worlds. The planet has a stable, human-compatible ecosystem, productive oceans, belts of quality, crop-producing lands, and gentle climate. Considering the planet's large human population, estimated at between 5 and 10 million, you're surprised that your orbital scans reveal no big cities and almost no heavy industry. Instead, the planet is dotted with small towns and villages. In all the villages, typically human architecture mixes with the triangle cluster forms that are characteristic of native Medsenians. So you get a big description of the planets, and then you get an action list. You don't need to memorize these or write them down, but it is helpful to know what you can do on each planet. These early stages, so we're just going through the first 5 turns. I'm not gonna play this game the whole night. That would be insane. So the next one is 800. So these first few turns are basically a tutorial how to play and what to do, and it gives you a sample of landing on a planet, interacting with that planet, and then moving on from that planet. each character gets 1 or 2 planets before all meeting up on a last planet. So here, because we landing takes 7 phases. It actually takes an additional 6 phases from our next turn. So we only have 1 more action to perform here. So we need to do E9, which is C, go to the Academy of Knowledge. And this gives us turn 2. So we go to 325. This is a handy passage finder, which the guys at the Underdogs, I'm not even sure if it's still available on there, but Home of the Underdogs was the website that this guy, Ranger55, created this. These are also available on the Computer Game Museum, and if anyone's interested, it's this right here. That's all the files that came with the game. Also the art. There is some art in the manuals that, and actually the artist, there was only one artist, and he actually has a deviant art, which I don't have the link to right now, but it should be easy to find. All right, so Professor Ginger Harglot is your guide and contact during your visit to the Academy. You must have become a professor before coming to medicine, for there are no institutions of higher learning on the planet. There are public schools, training centers for specific occupations, but no real universities. The Academy itself is purely a research facility. At the Academy of Knowledge, colonists and native Midsonian researchers work primarily on quantifying the similarities and differences between the two races. After all the years they have shared the planet Midsun between them, you would have thought that this work would have been completed long ago, but the researchers are very meticulous observers. This, combined with the enormous complexity of both organisms, has made this task the work of lifetimes. Yeah, so there's a lot of text in this game. So here we find actually one of the interesting things about this is we can actually, let's see, what are you studying then? I find the most interesting area to be the differences in mentation, the effects which we are able to produce with our different minds. That is where the more dramatic differences between ourselves and the natives appear. They, for instance, are completely unable to grasp some human concepts such as mental multiplication and division. It seems they don't have sufficiently strong mental symbols for numerical quantities. On the other hand, they have a technique called FRIM that we humans have only recently learned to understand, and other skills as well, that as far as our perceptions are concerned might as well be black magic. To the natives, for example, emotional telepathy is no more unusual than an ear for music as among us. Telepathy? You mean the natives are telepathic? Oh, only in limited sense, but definitely yes. For example, a beta parent, did I tell you about the 3 sexes? Yeah. A beta parent can detect fear in her children, even when there is no known way for them to be in communication. There's nothing magical about it, you understand? It's just a matter of evolution and selection, just as our own mental powers are. In fact, the telepathic ability was probably stronger in previous eras and is now fading out, while FRIM response is probably growing stronger. It's all mediated by environmental pressures. So you can actually learn FRIM as a technique, and it's one of the alien abilities that other guy was supposed to be learning about. So we have 325, and then we have 388, which is the next description for turn 3. And if you don't do what the text does, it gives you a walkthrough warning saying, hey, you're going away from what you're supposed to be doing. Yeah, so we get to 401 here. And now we're back on the map, which I'll pop up here so you can follow along. So we're at 64B, and then we go to RVGBL and land on Wilmette. And on Wilmette, we get another long passage for landing. Wellmet is basically a hub outside the nine worlds for human marketing and that sort of thing. This is actually the planet where the mafia members are located as well. So Valentine starts on this planet. So 575 for our next turn. And what we get is a sample of a couple of things. So we get 8, we get this Slippery Tavern, and then we get Well-Met History. No? Oh, we get the market. Okay, so I'll show the market. You have 492 and 456. Slippery Silver Tavern. It's a pleasant sort of place. Management keeps it that way by placing pleasant, high-strung partitions between the tables and bolting the tables pleasantly to the floor. You seat yourself at the only table that is unoccupied, preparing to spend a pleasant evening sipping boundary breakers and inhaling the pleasant low-level soothing gas that the management provides free of charge via the air conditioning system. After a short distraction caused by the crewmen in an adjacent booth somehow managing, despite the generally relaxed atmosphere of the place, to heave another man clear over one of the partitions, you find yourself joined at your table by a small, tall, slim man who looks like he grew up in low gravity. He declines to identify himself even after you have given your name. This puts a bit of a damper on the conversation, but after a few more drinks, the talk becomes freer and you decide that your companion is all right. During the course of the conversation, the tall man asks you an interesting question. Do you really want to know what's out there beyond the boundary? Your reply is, sure, what? Empty space. More empty space than you can imagine. And here and there, just as often to keep it from being totally empty, a star. Now, some of these stars have planets, maybe 1 in 80, more if you count worthless silica asteroids, less if you leave out worthless gas giants. Of course, the stars with planets look the same through a scanner as the ones without. You can only tell by going there unless you want to observe the same star from a stationary point or for a year or so. It's faster to go there. It takes maybe 2 weeks there and back on a careful course. That means a good explorer finds a planet about every 3 years. Of course, only about one planet in 20 has anything interesting on it, unless you're a geologist or a weatherman. The odds are worse if you're looking for anything that can make a profit in trade. That's why there aren't many explorers these days. Work it out. With a billion stars in the galaxy, there are maybe a million good planets, but how are you going to find them? So what's the point? Are you going to tell me I should work for you instead, hauling iron through the boundary? Tall Man smiles. Not at all, he says, as you couldn't run the boundary if your life depended on it. I'm just pointing out that you'll need help. Like these, for example. He drops 6 objects on the table. Small squares, 2 centimeters on a side that scatter light like laser armor. You look at the sparkling chips and ask, computer software? Star maps, 6 of them, each covering 1/6 of the region of the galaxy once known as the Fringe. Star maps that any person in this bar would kill for. They'd kill you for trying to swindle them. I suppose you're going to tell me that these lost star maps of Vanessa Ching. Of course. And expect me to buy them from you? Not at all. They're yours. You look at the man and see if he's joking, then respond angrily, don't talk, stupid. Those were Vanessa Ching's star maps. You wouldn't be giving them away. On the contrary, I have to give them away. Who could possibly afford them? Yeah, so that's the kind of text you get in this game. So then we get the commodities market, munitions. If you're playing with multiple characters, that conversation actually it has a different passage and it works out a little differently where the other characters are actually in that passage and it describes them a little bit. So you start out with a few commodities. You have a trading. Every planet has a few things they can trade for. Actually, not all of them do, but most of them do, and you can trade for things, and then some have personal armaments. What I'll do is I'll just finish and show that off. I can actually buy an exploder, it looks like, and that's it. So the exploder has a projectile rating. There's 3 offensive and 3 armor, hand-to-hand weapons weapons and armor that you can equip. The same is true for your ship. Eventually, you build up through trading back and forth. You'll build up supplies, and then you purchase these equipment to get through different events and actions throughout the game. So those star maps at the end of that, let's see, where did I put that? Oh, so the map is like this, and at the end of that passage, I kind of just skipped to the end there. You actually are instructed to open up another document that was sealed when you first opened it. And at that point, you're told to open the document 2, and then you get actually the full map of the game, which turns out to be this here. Where did I put that? There. That. So that's the full map of the game. And that's all I wanted to talk about Star Saga. Yeah. He's like an English teacher. I'll take that as a compliment, Konetsu-san. Yeah. So this game solo took me probably about 14 hours to play through. Just a lot of text and a lot of reading and a lot of mapping out where to go and trading and whatnot. Playing this with my brother, I spent weeks on it. And the number of turns you get up to is probably in the 400 to 500 turn range by the end of it. Yeah, it only takes 14 hours. That's after mapping the game though. I can't even imagine what my first time was like. Yeah. Okay, so that was Star Saga. How about something a little less interesting? So we're gonna switch over to, some people might not even call it a game, honestly, but we're gonna enter a name, Nintendon't, and this is Alter Ego. This is a game I grew up with. I'm not even sure why I played it so much. It was more a fascination than anything else. Yeah. Oh, also, I wanted to mention I actually did like a walkthrough sort of website blog for Star Saga, and if you want to go read about that, that might be more interesting than Alter Ego here. But we're gonna go through. Let's see. I'll type it in. So if you want to read, I think that's it. There's that. I'm breaking the rules. Oh, it's not that Alter Ego. Yes. So that Side Quest Saga was a blog that I started around the same time I started my RPG blog, which I'm gonna write up there. So yeah, that's I got a little distracted from that Side Quest blog, and it's I went through the first Star Saga and a couple other games, and then I was gonna go to Star Saga 2, and I kind of dropped it from there, but I'll get back to it eventually. So here, Alter Ego. Let computer select my personality and then edit it or examine it, and then you can either just don't care or you can just select your own. And basically, I'll select this one, and they go through a bunch of true or false questions. Like a personality test. I will probably try to answer these questions honestly. False. Yeah, so you can go in and assign whatever you want to do. You're fascinated by car accidents, or you know me best as a person, it's blah, 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 blah. All of this does is it sets up your stats for the game itself. There's a lot of them. How is this sound? If that's too loud, I can lower it. I just noticed that. Oh, what in the world just happened? Shh, you didn't see that. I don't know why that's appearing. There it is. All right. That's better. Okay. That is a little loud. So let me lower that. I don't know why that's appearing there. Apparently my sound thing isn't working. All right. Anyway, we'll just we'll deal with bad sound. Wait. So this is basically a life simulator. And my chat's working mess up. You saw it. You saw it. No, you don't see it. You don't see anything. So I always like starting out from the beginning, but you can actually choose any age range and you kind of just jump into that age. This version of the game is the female version because it's the easiest one I found. You actually start as you're being born if you choose infancy. So you're in a warm, dark, comfortable place. This has been your place since you became aware that you're alive. It's almost time to enter the world. And you actually get these choices of depending on what you want to do. So you can stay in a little longer, come out fighting, come out peacefully. We'll just start the game. What a nice baby. Yeah, that's fine. So you can choose to stay in longer, you can come out. Depending on your emotion, here. So all those questions that we answered rate you in your stats here. And then, in these stats here, and you have your base stats and you have your basic, almost your peace of mind stats, your how people interpret you and that sort of thing. You start off with money and you have an age here, and each section will age you out after a certain number of years, and you'll just go on to the next section. And then you have these choices for different events you can participate in or experience. Each one has different options, and you can go through them all, or you can't go through them all. You can go to the ones that you like the heart one, I think, is relationships. These ones with the faces are social events. These crest ones are family events, so like extended family. These the X-ray one are physical events, and the brain map one are intellectual events. So you can choose to focus on family and social, or you can just go for intellectual and physical. No, it's not. But what's really funny about this is that you start off at a specific age, and each month or each event ages you a month or two, depending on the type of event. But they didn't really think you would just come to the end here, and you can actually just pick an event at the end of the timeline, and at 2 months you walk into your bedroom and go into sleep. dark shapes. So you're at 2 months you're walking. Stare from every corner. Headlights cast eerie shadows on the walls. You have heard that the tickle bugs sneak into little girls' rooms and hide under the beds to get their victims during the night. And then you can choose a mood that you want to be. You can be brave. You can look under the bed. Or you can be frightened and look under the bed. You can be brave and go under the covers. And I think there's actually some that if you select, you get a, you know, you get a message like that, or like, that doesn't even make sense. Some will actually just boot you out and say, yeah, so we can be carefree and ride our tricycle. One of the favorite games is to ride the tricycle around. Who do you call? Nobody. And at 4 months, we're riding our tricycle. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so this is kind of an interesting experience, I guess. It's not like really a game, but it's fun to look at these like role-playing scenarios and just read through them and make different choices and see what happens. So I mean, it gets kind of preachy. I think it has kind of a moral standard sort of thing throughout most of the game. What's really funny is, I won't take the time to do it now, but you can actually age yourself to like 2 years and still be in this phase. And then you can get events like this where, you know, you're just a baby. And yeah, so this is one of those cases. How could those two choices possibly make any sense? So eventually, I think it's at age 3, if you play through enough of these, you get to the next age level, and it actually will go through like old age. As you age, you get additional icons on the sides where you can do different things. You can actually have like a list of, you know, contacts, NPCs that you need to set up dates with. You can marry someone, you can have kids, you can buy a house, you can do a whole bunch of things. You see here, you don't do anything with it yet, but you know, you get stats. They go up and down depending on what you choose. And then you get money, you can acquire debt, you can do a lot of things here. And eventually, you know, you have to balance a budget, you have a job, you get hired at places. Depending if you have a job or not, the events will change. It was a, you know, one of those things that was pretty amazing at the number of choices that you have. But we're gonna stop that, and we're gonna go to that other game that was spoiled now. And we're going to try and get this working here. I'm gonna lower the volume just in case. All right, when this is open, for some reason my volume meter gets locked in, and I don't know if it's gonna be too loud or not. So let me know how the game volume is. So this is Mr. Robot and his Robot Factory. This was released on the Apple II. I think it was released on DOS as well. So I'm using an Apple II emulator because that's just easier for me. And just ignore those BBS numbers. Yeah. So I think the biggest thing about this game that stuck with me is the robot creation zone. Like you can actually create your own levels, and there's all of these down here are, you know, this is, it's very slow with the keyboard, but with the joystick it was a lot of fun trying to create my own levels and just having a blast doing that. This is, I think, the robot here, I want to say. So you should place the robot, and then you go to this one here, and put a marker, and let's see if I can play this one. Yeah, the problem is, in this version, the play testing is broken. But yeah, that gives you an idea for the kind of game it is. And here we'll get to the actual game itself. And the object of the game is to take your little robot here and collect all these little dots. The flashing dots allow you to kill the fire, and without them you'll just crunch on them and eat up a life. I've never actually played through the whole game, and we'll see how far I can get. But yeah, this was a lot of fun, and I don't think it was released on DOS. I may be wrong. I don't remember it being on DOS. Growing up, we had an Apple II first, so this is one of my first games that I played. And being that, it's, has fond memories in my mind. It's a little difficult to control on the keyboard. I mean, it used to be a lot better with a joystick. That guy's a little scary. Basically, there's only one button. There's a jump button. And so all I'm doing is using the keyboard arrow keys. The A and Z key are the up and down keys for some reason when emulating the keyboard on the Apple. And then the spacebar is the jump key. Now, when you deplete all the white dots, that's the end of the level. So that's the object of each level, is to get all the white dots. And there's new things in every single level. The last one had the moving platforms. This one has elevators, which you ride up and down. If you land on one of these elevators, it just takes you up to the top. Oh, and that's what happens when you hit a fire. You'll see I have 3 men in the upper right there. So you have 3 men to actually complete all the levels, which I don't know how many there are. And like I said, I haven't beaten it all the way. There is a level select code, but I always try and beat it from beginning to end. Mr. Robot and His Robot Factory is the name of the game. So it's called Robot Factory because you can, you have that option to build your own levels. And here I need to time it just right, try and hit these guys, both of them. Would only find another game on Google. That's what I try to do, Goody. I try to pick games that you could never find on Google. So yeah, there's a couple games called Mr. Robot. Yeah, Star Saga you probably never heard of either. It had I think it was rather expensive based on, the number of books that needed to come with it. All the little fill-in. Plus it was on Apple II first, and the Apple II didn't have a wide audience. Oh no, I'm not gonna make it. Oh, just barely. Yeah, so if you run out of those power pills, whatever they're called, they will, you're basically toast. There's no way around getting another one. You basically have to end the level at that point. Basically. Yeah, 1983. This was fun. Bonk. Oh, that's the wrong way. I can't remember how to do this one. Did I go to the other side? I think I go to the other side. Yeah, so these trampolines will catch you. There's fall damage. If you go too far down, you'll fall. And yeah, that's the way to do this. Let's see, I want to fall here, I think. And then here, that's just far enough. I think that's the maximum you can fall, is from that purple to the other purple. Yeah, so like learning exactly where to go, where to jump is is most of this game. And this is one of the tougher levels. Lemonade stand, I remember lemonade stand. That was fun. Everything in here is deterministic though, so you if you make the same moves, you'll be able to have the same results. As if I wasn't jumping before, but that time I was jumping because I landed on the wrong spot. Oh, that was the wrong way. Anyway, so that's Mr. Robot and his Robot Factory. Let's see if I can do it again. There's actually, like I said, there's a level skip code. You just hold Control and hit N. And so it is possible to beat the levels as we're going. But I think for time's sake, I'll stop here. One thing I did want to notice is if you hit a bomb like that, you get shot off the screen. So what I'll do is I'll restart that, and we'll just minimize that for now, because we are going to move on to something else here. So I think, actually, maybe I've never done it before, actually, now that I think about it. Before we move on, what I'll do is actually skip through all the levels. So this is screen B, screen C, screen D. And as the levels are building, you can hear different sounds. That actually, the sounds of each piece are slightly different. So that's F. I've been to F, I've been to G, I've been to H, and H is actually kind of interesting. I'll play through it a little bit and show you why it's interesting. So with H, there's this C thing here. That's actually just an extra man. So they expect you to have a lot of trouble with this level. And the reason is, it's very tricky. So they have this spot here where what they expect you to do is utilize the fact that when you jump, you bounce back against the wall. You'll bounce against the wall and then back towards the rest of the level. Oops. Alright. So the reason why that's important is you can actually just barely get through the gap to the right of that last bouncing pad. Like that. And then you complete the level like that. So we're gonna continue to skip through. That's I, that's J. I haven't beaten J. J, I think I was the last one I beat. So as you can see, it gets a little complicated. And there's a bonus round, okay. And then you get N, and O, P, Q looks fun. R, S. There's probably one for every letter of the alphabet. Wow, that sounded interesting. Oh, V. V was the last one. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. Show off the heat shield, huh? There's a heat shield? I don't think so. Yeah. Let's see what we have next. So we have, what I'll do next is I'll do Sherlock. And this was actually one of the first puzzle games I remember playing. Cicadas? They're crickets, man. Yeah, so this is one of the first puzzle games I remember actually playing and liking. It came in a shareware pack. I can't remember the name of it, but it had some 100 games on it, and I probably shouldn't be showing off the phone number and such, but do not contact this person. He probably doesn't live there anymore. So the shareware version comes with 0 to 99 puzzles, so there's 100 puzzles. But if you purchase the whole version, it comes with 65,353 or something like that, whatever, 355 puzzles. Basically a full byte's worth of puzzles. So each puzzle is a logic puzzle that you get these different clues. So there's faces in the top row, houses, numbers, fruit, signs, and homes. It spells letters. And based on the clues on the right side here and the clues on the bottom side, you have to deduce which ones are the correct ones in the correct slots. So it gives you two or three, I think even four sometimes, beginning patterns. And then from that, it gives you these to help you determine which ones are the correct slots for everything else. So what I'll do is I'll order these around a little bit. These here. So the clues are, okay, so banana has to be to the left of H. So the banana can't be on the right, the H can't be on the left. 3 and dead end, same thing. 3 can't be on the right, and dead end can't be on the left. So those clues are mostly done. These clues here state that these are always in order. So red house, man, purple house. And from that we can determine that the purple house isn't on the right, the red house isn't on the left. And then same for here, the white house isn't on here and the man isn't here. Yeah. Puzzle games are fun. I like puzzle games, and this is probably one of the main reasons I like puzzle games is I spent a lot of time with this game. It was one of the few shareware games that was actually kind of easy for me. And yeah, I had stuff like Craws and something called Ancients, which weren't as interesting or weren't as easy. I could play this for 20 minutes and complete a puzzle and then go do other stuff. But those other games, they had a lot more of a time sink if I wanted to get good at them. So here I remove the S because the S is below the man, and the man can't be here. The man can't be here, so the S's go. The fruit, says that the greenhouse and red house aren't above the pear, and the O isn't here. So yeah, it's basically like this. You go through um, the, the the various clues on the right side and the bottom side, and you use them until you figure out what's what. Pyramids of Ra? Yeah, I already played Pyramids of Ra. That was a fun one. But that's a Game Boy game. Shouldn't be talking about Game Boy games. I wonder how much money this made. I don't know. I mean, shareware games. Who knows how much money they made? I know we never purchased full versions of any of the shareware games we had. We just, got the shareware games and played all those games. You have like hundreds of them. You don't need to buy a full game, which is probably a sad fact of the shareware market, but that's the way it was. So the man can't be in the corner here. We know that because of this here. He goes man and then, or old man and then mustache man. And the mustache man can't be here, so the old man's not there. And this here, oh, we have this one here. This is one of our base sets saying that this right here, and then not the H, and then the blue house. So the blue house goes there. So we know that already. And we can right click to remove that clue since we're done with it. Oh, not there. How do I undo that? Undo. There we are. Blue house there. There we are. And then the 4 is below the blue house, so we put the 4 there. And then we remove that. And the 4 is next to the blue sign. So we remove those blue signs. The lemon head guy is next to the blue sign, so we can remove him from that and there. So he's one of those two. So we kind of went through that one already. Let's see what else we can determine here. Let's see, the 3 is below the man, so we can remove that. 3. And we can remove the, no, we can't remove the dead end yet. See, blue house, we can remove the fruit. That doesn't follow that. We can remove the M from this one here. 4 blue, that. 6E, stop sign. Stop sign is next to the E, so we can remove the E from here, because that's not a stop sign. Greenhouse 5. Here's an interesting one. So this goes cherries next to apple, strawberries next to apple. So basically the apple has to be next to a strawberry or a cherry. So the apple can't be here because the pear is here. There's no apple here, so strawberry and cherry are gone. We have orange by itself, which means there's no direct clue for orange. And then Sherlock 1996. This wasn't 1996. Cody's got the wrong Sherlock. Sorry, I'm kind of distracted by chat. So strawberry, cherry, and those are gone. Apple O. O goes away. Let's see. It said so. This was way before 1996, I'm pretty sure. It's like 92, I want to say. Maybe not. Maybe I'm completely misremembering. This was pretty early though. 1991. Yeah, 1991 sounds more like it. So White House can't be here. White House, it can't be here either. So that's White House there. So it's either White House man, man can't be there. White House man, man can't be there or there. Um, this one has to have a 3 and the man. 3's not there. Man goes away. Baby comes up. Baby goes away. Here we have, let's see, we have baby, which means no S. Already no 3. No blue. Okay. So the 1, the orange, the banana, and the H. It's still like that. I guess the H can't be here either. Banana can be there, and that's fine. So this is banana separated by any number of squares, and then the H. Same with the 3 and the dead end sign. Let's see, the red house above the apple, so no apple there. Apple, cherry, cherry, apple. Stop sign E. I don't know about that. So no direct clue between the E and the 6. 2 and the L. I think this is the next one I need. So no purple there. Purple can be here or here. Purple, man, red, no. So red is, did I remove the red early? So we can get the hint system too. And it's okay. So the hint is, it'll actually highlight the hint that it's pointing to, so that apple over O, and it says since the apple's not here, and the apple needs to be there for the O can go away. And you get a little time penalty for every hint that you take. And I guess there's a high score table too for the amount of time you take to do this. And I think there was you know what, Cody? I think in 1996 there was a Windows version of this release. Maybe that's what you found. So extra guy's next. He's in an hour though, so I have another hour to go. So we'll just do this the rest of the night. How about that, guys? And we do the hint. Ah, yes, the man is not there because the 3 needs to have a 3 there. I don't know why my mind isn't working right now. Yes, the 5 is next to the greenhouse, so we take the 5 out. We take that 5 out too. 5 is next to the greenhouse. The greenhouse is above a strawberry, so we only have strawberries there. This is, well, this doesn't seem possible anymore. Unless it's backwards, like maybe the red is on this side and the purple's on this side. It's not telling me I'm wrong though. Alright, it says this adjusts to that, and there's not any of that on that side. That can't be there. So that goes away. The S goes away. And it says here that it needs to be adjacent as well. So that goes away. And this is the only old man left. because there's only red on this side, that has to be red, that has to be purple. The old man is here, this man is here, the white's there, that guy's there, that guy's there. This guy says the 3 is there, so that goes away. The blue sign is there, that goes away, that goes away. And what happens here? The apple goes here because of that, the O goes here because of that. And then it starts cascading down and you really start being able to just get everything you want. So the orange is there, the banana is there. The H is to the right of the banana, but we don't know where. So this is pretty much done. That is gone. The dead end is there because of that clue. The S is here because of him. The strawberry is here. The cherry is there. Those are gone. The 5 has to be there. The house is yellow. And there's no M there. That's an M with a speeding sign. Stop sign is next to the E. Yeah, 6 is next to the E. 6 can't be there, can't be there. That's the 6, that's the E, that's the stop sign. The 2 is next to the L. And then you get that. Aren't you glad I didn't say banana? Yeah, so that's what that is. Restore unfinished game? No, that's fine. There's actually a number of players you can have. You can have multiple players. You can create a tournament-style puzzle game. I never actually did that. But it's possible to set a time limit for yourself if you want a countdown timer. You can actually score, best times here. I thought it said the number of hints you took too, but maybe it's just that time penalty. Yeah, so that's that game. Yeah, look, weekend and weekdays. Let me see. Does it say it here? Yeah, copyright 1991 and through 1996. So maybe this is the 96 version, actually. Okay, so we'll move on from that. Sherlock. So something a little more simple. Just a little bit, though. So next up we have this game. Welcome to Sleuth. Sleuth was an early game. That was, yeah. So the idea behind Sleuth is that you're a detective and you show up at this house where a murder was just called in, but all the people, it's kind of like Clue. All the residents of the house don't really care that you're there, don't really care that the guy was murdered, and you're supposed to be interrogating them, the killers among them, and you have to figure out what the murder weapon was, the room where he was killed, and who did it, all in a certain number of moves. Being a good detective, you threw your magnifying glass through the window or something, and it landed up in a random room, so you actually have to find your magnifying glass first. So we'll review the instructions. You begin the game of Sleuth. Yeah, basically what I said. So you can examine doors, you can examine items, which doesn't really matter as soon as and unless you have the magnifying glass, like I said. You can search the occupants. I'm not really sure what the use of that is. I've never found a use for that, although I haven't actually beaten this game before. This might as well be Sherlock. Yeah, might as well be. So yeah, you can search, you can accuse people, and you question them for their alibis, you can talk to them in general. You need to find the magnifying glass, you examine the objects, and it will tell you if it's the murder weapon, but you also need to know the room that they were killed in, and to do that, I still haven't figured that part out. I think you're supposed to, once you have either the murder weapon or an idea of what the murder weapon was, you can go to you talk to one of the people who aren't the killer and keep questioning them for clues about which room has suspicious activity. So yeah, there's some shortcuts to questioning and examining since you're going to be doing it so much, and yeah, so you do a basic sleuth, or we can actually personalize sleuth a little bit. So going from top to bottom, we'll have Goody and Celdia, Conetta, okay, Luxury Wagon, Liar, and Health. Alright. Dark and stormy night. Goody was brutally murdered only hours ago. The body was removed by persons unknown from the murder scene. You are now standing at the front door of the estate. The door is open. So yeah, you walk around, you're walking in the main hall, walls are covered right in old paintings. So like I said, the first thing you want to do are the entrance to the conservatory. You want to find your magnifying glass. So a luxury wagon sitting here, you can actually talk to him and say, what's your alibi? And he'll say, oh, I spent the entire evening with Hell's in the kitchen. Hell's kitchen, that's nice. Now, I'm not one to gossip, but I don't think you could be wrong by looking into Conetta's story. There's one person who won't lose any sleep over Godey's death. Alright, so Luxury Wagon says he was with Hells, and Conetta is suspicious. Here's Celdia, lounging in the room. We can talk to, so we can question Celdia. Questioning is a little bit different. Questioning is you're asking them, okay, what do you know? If Celdia is the killer, though, they can get suspicious and like start saying, you know, once the killer is suspicious enough, they'll actually kill you too, and the game is over then. I spent the entire evening alone at the guest room, but just because I was alone, just because everyone knows how I hated Godey, is no reason for single me out. So I don't know how we can question about different rooms or find the clues for rooms, like I said, to actually beat the game. But if you keep questioning, she says the same thing. Spent the entire evening in the guest room. Now in this layout of the mansion, and there are a few different layouts of the mansion, there's actually a secret panel somewhere along this wall, and you get a special area here. Let's see, there we are. So you can walk through a secret passage, and then you go somewhere else. And then I'm upstairs now. So it's kind of interesting. If you ever watched the movie Clue, it kind of reminds me of that. So Lyra's here. What does Lyra say? What is your alibi? Pays no attention to me. Pay attention to me! Huh? What? Oh, I spent the entire evening with Conetta in the library. We're working on some private matters. Frankly, I have no idea what the other guests were doing. So Lyra says he was with Conetta. We have Hells here. A reading history card named Desire. Still haven't found my magnifying glass, so I can't examine all the objects in these rooms. You can abbreviate people's names as well, because there's only one person in every room anyway, so Hell shrugs and says, Luxury and I spent the evening together in the kitchen. Let me tell you, Inspector, that I deeply resent being questioned. um, so Hell's story matches up with Lyra's or Luxury's story. And that usually what we're looking for when we're questioning people is we're looking for some discrepancy in their stories. Let's see, we already talked to Lyra. I'm looking for the magnifying glass. Oh, Akka's here, so we can question Akka. Akka says, I spent the entire evening with Hells in the guest room. I just want you to know that I think Goaty is better off dead, and I think everyone in this house would back me up. So why don't you go find another case. So Akka, his story doesn't match what Hells said, and Hells said he was with the Luxury Wagon. Luxury Wagon says he was with Hells, so their stories match up. So Akka is the killer, but we don't know. Here's the magnifying glass. So we now have the magnifying glass. Akka's here. Silver serving set sits on the table, so we can examine the set. No, that's not an item, is it? Okay, small frozen quail, so we can examine the quail. It looks delicious. So now we're looking for the murder weapon. Jar of caviar. So we can examine the jar. We can examine a lot of the items in every room, but the only items that so this is what happens after a certain number of things happen. Either turn order or you question the murderer themselves a couple of times. Murder grown suspicious of your investigation. It actually escalates from this to the murderer is stalking me, and then finally when I enter a room, he'll just be there and he'll kill me. So we can examine the oboe. There are traces of blood. Must be the murder weapon. Okay, so we have the murder weapon, oboe. We have Akka as the suspicious villain, whose story doesn't match up with Hell's and Luxury Wagon. So we have Lyra here. Celia, do you know how I'm supposed to determine the room? Because in the instruction manual it says that eventually somebody will mention something odd about one of the rooms. So I don't know. Yeah, it's been too long. Yeah. So I've already told you that Kaneda and I spent the entire evening in the library. Can't think of anything else to add. So I mean, because he says that he spent the entire evening in the library, Hells was in the kitchen. The library and the kitchen are probably out. And the thing is, I can choose to examine the room, but it says, you can't search the the entire room. And I don't know if I can look at specific, like the piano itself or the rug. Like if I examine the rug, might there be blood on it? I don't know exactly, but he's only suspicious of me right now. So let me examine the room. No, I can examine the door. Nothing unusual about the door. So I'm thinking maybe the doors might have something to do with something. Like if I examine the right door, maybe I would actually be able to determine that somebody was dragged through there or something. So we can question Koneda. I don't think I have yet. Mind your own business. Lyra and I spent the entire evening in the library. Yes, yes. Eventually they'll ignore me and just not say anything anymore. Alright, well, the murderer is now stalking me. Oh, see, this is what happens when when that happens. So Goaty in the conservatory with the oboe. Now I dispose of you. Goodbye, Inspector. So that's what happens when you die. And I haven't beaten this game in the short time that I've played it since since re-engaging in it. And you can quit, you can restart, and the basic Sleuth has, like, this is the additional layout, and it gives you a bunch of these random names. Let me see. Oh, magnifying glass in the first room. Wow. So in that last game, it just so happened that the murder weapon was in the same room as the murder took place, but that's not always the case. And things can get moved around and whatnot. Like I said, the instruction manual says that if you talk to enough of the family, they say something. They say something that will indicate that one room in particular is interesting or has something unusual about it. Examine everything, every door. Yeah, I was thinking about examining the doors. The rooms all say, the room's too big, you can't examine everywhere. See if that gets me more time. Oh, that's true. I could do that. I don't think that helped the last time I tried it. Spent the entire evening in the sewing room. So as much as I want to say Margaret is dead, I could just cross my name off your list. See, I can search him too. Search William. Find nothing. Alright. Well, I'm just going to use this time to search people and see if I find nothing. Question Vanessa. Violin. See, there's nothing in there. Examine marble. Bookend is heavy, no blood. Examine bottle. Examine flask. Flask is empty. Snifter. So one of these is a false panel. Examine stuffed emu. I think it randomly places you in the house somewhere. Examine hammer. Nope. Examine clock. Is that the last room? Examine the violin. Oh, it must be one of the other items. Oh well. Examine safe. Hammer. Well, he's stalking me now, so whoever it is gonna get me pretty soon here. With Sylvia. Flower pot. Oh, there's a murder weapon. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to take the murder weapon. You're now carrying it. The longer you carry the murder weapon, the more suspicious this was suspicious the murderer gets of you getting closer to the crack in the case. And what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to get the murder weapon, gather the people, all the suspects, and then you accuse, let's say like Vanessa, and William Seton murdered Margaret. Murder was committed in the kitchen, not the bathroom. So yeah, it's a fun little whodunit sort of game. And yeah, that's Sleuth. So let's quit that. And then we have another one. This is actually a different sort of whodunit game, probably based a little bit around what Sleuth did. This one, the shareware version only comes with the case number 1, but there's supposed to be 50 cases. I don't know if some full version is floating around out there or not. Goaty, who killed you? Yeah, I sold you. Yeah, so I'm sure a lot of these you can't get anymore unless you knew the person or you happen to have an original copy. Who knows if they have even finished a full version of these games. You Bunky are Sam Spade, the not-so-famous private eye. Your client list reads like a who's who of nobody. Could be a housewife looking for her two-timing husband, three-fingered Louie looking for his missing bagman. You don't really care because you're in this dirty business only for the cash. Ethics and principles don't pay the rent or buy the booze. You don't care who hires you. Someone will come in or phone you at your office with a problem, other small detail that they would like for you to take care of in a certain amount of time. Naturally, they will give you an advance to cover your expenses while you're on the case, and will pay you well for your troubles when you finish the job. And that is the one little detail. You don't get paid if you don't finish the job on time. Soon, on the screen, a map of your part of town will appear, depending on the case. You'll have to travel around the city looking for clues or whatever it is your client wants. Here, the advance money comes in handy as you can use it to pay for cab fare around town, possible bribes, and other incidentals that Private Eye need money for. Remember, only you can crack the case. When the game starts, and as you leave each location, you'll be asked where you want to go. You must answer an exact location's name as it appears on the screen. Go to the pool room. Don't forget to case track time. You'll crack the case. When you return to your office, I'll ask you for a solution to this case. Please again, keep it simple. Looking for certain keywords. Just 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. And you guys can read this. Sorry about that. I just had to use the restroom. So Charles Davis is dead. Aaron Barnes came to you. Police seem to indicate that it was a suicide, but Aaron and the third partner, Ernie, think otherwise. To Aaron, Charles always good mood, never seemed depressed. Anything, job, life, at home even, that he lived alone. What was strange was that some of the key books at the office were found to be missing just before his death. Ernie thinks that it may have been something to do with Charlie's gambling habits. But Aaron never knew Charlie to have any vices. Also missing are certain key stock certificates that have some real value. Aaron needs to have those stock notes back by morning. I'll pay you well for them. So, find out where are the certificates and who killed Charlie. So, you have 150 minutes and $50 to solve the case. So, the map itself kind of looks like Sleuth, and you choose where you want to go. So, one thing we can do is, let's go to the morgue and see maybe like, how he died, possibly? I've never actually completed this, so we'll see what this is like. It takes 8 minutes by cab ride, and it costs $9. The body had been really worked over before he was shot. It looked like a professional job. Really worked over, really? And the police think that he was, yeah, that was a suicide. Strange. So we can go to the Greasy Spoon, we can go to Hank's Bar, Pool Room, Belch Hotel, Training Shed, Bank. Honestly, we don't have a lot of clues to go on. Let's try to go to the police station, see if they have anything, any leads. We'll take a cab again before we have to start walking. Police checked out the safe deposit boxes of Vinny, Charlie, Aaron, and Ernie and found no stock certificates. Who's Vinny? Alright, we're going to go to a warehouse. We're going to walk this time and see how long it takes. And walking takes like 15 to... Oh, it took 3 minutes to get there. Alright, that's not bad. The foreman is getting tired of all the shooting that goes on around the warehouse. Let's go to News 6. We're going to walk. No clue, Sam. Aaron, Charlie, Ernie had their papers delivered. Okay. He had gambling debts, right? So... Let's go to beer and wine since we're here. They have to eat, drink, right? Luxury wagon. Spike, the owner, says to come back when less people are around. What? How many people are around? Let's go to the doghouse. See if we can find some clues there. I'm gonna walk. 5 minutes. That's not bad. Vinny's new mark is a stockbroker. Oh, so maybe Charlie was a stockbroker and Vinny did it. Let's check out Pier 1. We're gonna walk to the pier. No clues at the pier. Let's go to the Greasy Spoon. Let's walk over there. 13 minutes. That's far. Vinny the Gambler seems to have a lot of new money these days. Seems he just made a really big score a couple days ago. So Vinny did it. Bartender says he never saw Charlie in there. What's the pool room? Let's walk. Word has it that Vinny had a contract out on Charlie. So maybe Vinny didn't kill Charlie, it was somebody else. I'm gonna walk. Bellhop saw Charlie and Ernie here the night he died. Oh, what were they doing in a hotel room together? Seven minutes? It took me 7 minutes to walk that far? He never released the full game? Oh, that's sad. Yeah. I mean, that's what I was talking about. Like, who knows? Oh, I didn't see that clue. Oh, well. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. It's like, don't know if these were actually ever released or what. $13 and 13 minutes to get to the museum. Wow. Vinny had business with the chief curator last week. Really? What's he doing with a curator? Go to library. I'll walk to the library. I don't even know if this is possible to finish here. No clue here, Sam. Let's go to the park. The first case is, okay. He managed to get here. Yeah, this was like a workable demo. This place looks pretty deserted. Go to the bank, I guess. Walk to the bank, 15 minutes to get here. Sam, you have less than an hour left to solve the case. I know. Vinny and Ernie cleaned out their safe deposit boxes the day before Charlie died. I'll walk to the hospital. Now, I wonder if his email still works. Vinny's victims are really beaten up, especially the ones that live. Did I go to the dock house? I can't remember. I think I went everywhere. Dock house. Let's walk over to the dock house. 14 minutes? Vinny told your stool pigeon that his sucker Ernie has finally come into some cash and paid his bill with some stock certificates. Oh, so Ernie stole, or Ernie killed Charlie, it seems. Let's go to beer and wine. He told me to come back later, so let's see what he has to say now. Ernie was overheard saying that he finally got his bills paid off. Yeah, so it seems like Ernie killed Charlie, and Vinny, and gave Vinny the stock certificates. Maybe Vinny actually sold them to the guy at the museum, which is kind of weird, but I think I have to go to Sam's. Go to Sam's. Cab. I'm taking cab back. Charlie had a thing for Aaron's overweight, but otherwise sexy wife. So you think you have this case cracked? I must warn you, your client won't be happy with you if you screw this up. Yes. Alright, where are the certificates and who killed Charlie? What do you guys think? Where are the certificates? Are they a museum? Maybe the bank? Maybe they were with Vinny still? Now Vinny dropped something off at the museum, but it said that was like a week ago, which is, the murder was only a couple days ago. But the museum's the only clue that I have. So we'll go with museum. Unless somebody has a better idea. Yes. Alright, who killed Charlie? I'm gonna go with Ernie. I think Ernie killed Charlie, not Vinny. Because Vinny was just the gambling guy that had the certificates that Ernie gave him. So we'll say Ernie. Yes. Are you sure? Where are the certificates? Museum. No problem. Who killed Charlie? Ernie killed Charlie. Alright. What a great detective. Congratulations, Sam Spade. Order the full version. No, no chance. ICQ. Really? I remember ICQ. Alright. Sam Spade is done. GG, guys. Hey, we beat a game tonight. So I'm about done, actually. Is Extra Guy even around? I haven't seen him in the chat. If not, I can go for another however long. I could try and beat Mr. Robot. Actually, I have another game here. Let me load this up. This might blow out your ears, so fair warning. Turn down your volume, possibly. Especially headphone users. I don't know how loud this is going to be. So this is a game that was released on Apple II. 1983. Chivalry. Yeah, we'll start a new game. The king has been captured by the agents of the Black Knight. He commands that the bravest, most loyal subjects set forth to rescue him. He's being held at Black Knight's castle. One noble shall go. Yeah, I'm a knight or a lady. Okay, so Chivalry was a game that was released on the Apple II, and it was actually kind of like Star Saga, and it was a board game as well, or it came with a board. The game itself can be played without the board, though. But the board allows you to like follow along. You actually have little pieces that you could know where you are on the board. Yeah, so that was fun. There's actually a scan online of the Chivalry Apple II box, and you can look at the back, and it has a picture of the board itself. Yeah, so we had this, and we played it a couple times, me and my family. It's very basic though, and yeah, so we're gonna move 2 places forward and hit the rolling hills. Basically, it's a bunch of mini games that you play, and it worked with the Apple II joystick. So there's actually only like 3 buttons, left and right, and spacebar. So in this one, you're supposed to reach the top of the hill without getting hit by a barrel. If you get hit by a barrel, in most cases, if you fail the minigame, you get moved back a space. If you win, you get a couple spaces advantage. Hello, airplane. So move 2 places to Mountain Crag. Sir Zenic. Ah, the pass is closed. I lost a day. So you lose a turn sometimes. Random events happen. Yes, Apple II. This has music. A lot of the Apple II games had music, as opposed to like DOS games that were just quiet the whole time. Templar's Castle. Welcome to the Noble Outpost, Noble Sir. We know of your quest and wish to help. Will you join us in a joust today? Oh man, the joust is the hardest part. Do not tell the Tunnel Guardian that you serve the king. So you get little hints every once in a while too. The joust is kind of weird. I think you have to be headed up at the... Oh, that's unfortunate. I didn't see that. You have to be like headed up. Your horse has to be going up as you touch his shield. If you're headed down, then you lose. And it's really hard to time. This was 1983. Luxury wagon. Or 2083. Yeah. I am guardian of the tunnel. Do you wish to pass? Yes. Do you serve he who is absent? No. So we gotta lie. Good, you may proceed. So they told us to lie, so we're gonna lie. A lot of the answers don't change either, so... Hey, Gickman, how's it going? Yeah, you know this game. I made you play it. The Witch's Brew in. A thief jumped out and stole your pack. Move back. 2 spaces. Random events like that happen every once in a while. Not a big deal. So we go move 2 spaces back to the inn. Welcome to the inn. Would you like to try a friendly game of chance? Sure. The P is under one of the shells. Choose one. 3? Nope. Talk about random. You lose. Lose 1 turn. The losing turns are more important in games where you're actually playing with other people. The first person to reach the castle wins, basically. It's chasing me. Alright, we safely crossed. Move 1 place to the fortune teller. If you cross my palm with a silver and stay 1 day, I will read your future. Yeah, let's do it. We can learn some information. This key will warn you of dangers ahead. Your future shines bright as a sword. You are delayed. Move 1 space to the soft meadow. And you can take the high road or the low road. If I remember right, the high road is a little bit harder, so we'll take the low road. This sign will point the way. So the key warns of danger, and the crown is the way to go. Hey, Irving, how's it going? Move 3 spaces to the gypsy camp. Gypsy camps are deserted. The fire is still warm. Rest here. An old man stops before you and offers some sage advice. Yep. Follow the ground. I want to say there's about 30 or so spaces on the map. You fall into a pit. Stupid warthog. Climb out. So this is one of the funner ones. You just jump really crazily and you make your way out eventually. Oh, or not. You are delayed. At least the mini games, some of them, most of them, you can fail and then you just lose a turn and you just move on from there. Yeah, that animation for the jumping is really crazy. Come straight in, play some darts. Can't remember. Okay, it's just straight on. This is one of the easier mini games. Just get the bullseye and then you win. Thieves do not appreciate making fools of. You throw it too well. Go to the dragon. I've never had that happen before. Uh-oh, dragon's awake. He's gonna burn me, and then I have to go back to the abbey for 2 days. Yeah. This is early animation. The Laurel Maze. A villain hides within, moves to safety. Alright, so this guy's like a... I'm trying to remember what the name of it was, like Theseus and the Minotaur sort of thing? Where, well, not quite like that, since he moves, or this guy moves the same spaces you do. I'm trying to remember the best way to get through here. Yeah, so he's stuck there now, so I'm all good. There's another one like this. It's really easy. Oregon Trail. Yeah, everyone knows the Oregon Trail. So, my idea for games that I picked here was, you know, pick games that nobody's ever heard of or played before, and just give some idea for, you know, types of games that I grew up with. I honestly had a lot more games than just this. So here we're practicing the catapult throwing. I don't know if this is a really good way to practice, especially since eventually when we'll use the catapult, we're hitting a target that's much different. Anyway, yeah, I've had a lot of games, more than a lot of the what is it, the more popular games, but what do we need? Let's go the high road this time. Give my regards to the wizard. Yes, jousting once again. Alright, so that time we did it. So yeah, you have to be going up when you make contact with the blue guy. And then you win jousting. So we move one space ahead, we spin the wheel, and we get to the wizard's tower. I can't remember what the wizard's tower is like. Normally I take the low road and hope that the bear isn't awake. Even if he is, I can, you know, he usually just takes a day out of the way. 3 doors. One is good, one is bad. One door is just a door. Alright, so we're going to choose door 3 because we know that sign. We go to the sheep meadow. Here is just a peaceful meadow, and we wait a turn. One door, one space, we go to the approach. Alright, so the approach is random. They'll either send you back, or they'll allow you to go forward to the Black Knight's castle. And no servant of the king may pass. Return to the market. Move back 4 spaces. Ugh. So because we moved back 4 spaces, South Forest. I can't remember what the South Forest is. Oh, we just choose the trail. Normally, but those signs aren't actually there until you learn if the sign is good or bad. That's why we spent that time learning what was a good sign, what was a bad sign. Otherwise, like this screen here would just be 3 arrows, and then you would choose the trail you want to go on. So we go straight to the root of the woods. Now we reach the approach, and they let us move forward 1 space to the drawbridge. This is right at the end of the game. So there's the drawbridge. We open the drawbridge, and then we'll fight the Black Knight. Now this one is kind of luck-based. We're supposed to hit the crank, holding the chain on the drawbridge, and not get hit by these stones. Ah! Oh, no, we got unlucky, and now we're back in the South Forest. Yeah. So we can get unlucky like that and get hit back a couple times. We get to the approach. Oh, something weird's happening with the graphics here. What are they going to say? I remember you. You may pass. Okay, so we're back at the drawbridge. better luck this time. Yep, alright. Oh man, come on, that totally hit. Oh, oh. Oh. Such bad luck. You remember being stuck with the Black Knight for half an hour? The Black Knight can get, yeah, better luck this time. Yeah, the Black Knight can be kind of a pain. The angle of the catapult is a little random too, so it's annoying when it does stuff like this. Oh, there we go. We got it that time. Alright, now we're gonna fight the Black Knight. Move quickly to the castle of the Black Knight. What foolish knave enters my keep? I am the Black Knight, and I hold the king prisoner. Reach me, varlet, and I will free your king. It is a simple climb. Come ahead if you dare. Alright, so we get this kind of jumping. It's a little tamer than that one from earlier. What? Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. He's coming, he's coming! So he throws stones at me, and all I have to do is reach him. And then we win. You've won this time. It's been not too many hours in Revelry. So if you don't reach the Black Knight, you get sent out past the drawbridge again. You have to do the drawbridge part, and then you have to fight the Black Knight again. And that can take a while. And actually, if you fail to beat the Black Knight 4 times, I think it is, 3 or 4, it'll actually just let you win. They'll say, you tried enough. I'm tired of this. Here's your king back. Any sign of extra guy? I haven't seen him. No sign of extra guy. Alright. So, anybody else want to take over? I could load up Mr. Robot again. Or I could play something else. How about a new game? You guys want a new game, or you want Mr. Robot? I could try and beat it. What do you guys think? Other game would be this. New game. Alright, I'll need to check the sound levels on this one. Let's load it up. Prepare to enter the catacomb. Is Goaty still around? Goaty? Goaty? Is there a Goaty in the house? So, for those that don't know, Catacomb 3D was made by ID Software before Goaty went to bed. Yeah, made by ID Software. Alright, we'll play this one. We are warrior. Good, I love the taste of warrior's blood. Stand before the gate leading to the town cemetery. Night is falling as mournful wails mingle with the sound of pounding heart. Equipped with your wits and the secret knowledge of magic, you venture forth on your quest to upset the dark schemes of Nemesis, your arch-rival. So I remember playing this game quite a lot when I bought the pack on GOG.com. So this is a very basic 3D shooter. Created by ID Software, you know, the guys that made Wolfenstein and or Beyond Wolfenstein, Castle Wolfenstein, and Doom, right? So this is a very rudimentary 3D shooter. For openers, read the help menu and then collect zappers, cure potions, be ready with Control and Z. What is Control and Z? Keys. As you venture beyond, save as you go. Good save. Oh man, that was loud. Let me turn that down. Alright, that should be a little bit better. Let's see. A little bit. Ken's Labyrinth. I've never heard of that one. Uh-oh. Oh, I'm being attacked. Okay. I was just trying to adjust my volume here, so I'm not bleeding anybody's ears out. Alright, that's a little bit better. Yeah, I remember playing this game a lot. I don't remember actually beating it though. I probably did, or at least saw the end at some point. Okay. Oh, oh. This is a Doom clone, yes. This is before Doom. Oh no, I blew up the chest. The chests have healing items and such. Really good. You have special shots there. That line shot is something special. I forget what it does. It like fires a line of 10 to 15 shots. Let me heal up here. You get plenty of healing potions. You have a lot of special moves for this type of game. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Zombies are crawling out of the ground. Eventually there's like beholder sort of enemies, I remember. And bats and zombies in the cemetery though. They just pop up right on top of you too, which is kind of weird. You have a radar thing that sometimes works. It doesn't really detect the zombies though, it seems. What? Where? Okay. Where did that zombie go? Like he just completely disappeared. There he is. Should have started with this. That's no fun, liar. Lyra. Extra is not around. I haven't seen him. I'm supposed to be stopping now. Well, anybody else want to take over? I can give it to anyone now. Oh no, I did it again. I found a gem. Purple gem. I don't know what it does, but found one. Mausoleum lines beyond the garden to the east. Is he actually in chat? I don't know. So many bats. It's kind of neat that the like each area is kind of named, and the description changes as you move along. The scrolling is really smooth. This is ankle deep in guano because of all the bats. Everyone's trying to get extra guys' attention. Choo, choo, choo. You know, since Goody went to sleep and Sharpie's not here, I could play my world record video of a speedrun of Starflight. What? Oh no! Go away, go away. I just blew everything up. I didn't know that guy was there. How do you do fast turning? Oh yeah. Forgot to do fast turning. There we go. Fast turning is necessary in some of these tight corridors. Oh, so that's the Z shot. And it just fires a whole bunch. There's this fireball shot that will destroy like everything around. So we'll just get a whole bunch of guys and we'll see that one. Are they coming? Are they coming? There they are. Yeah. So those are the special shots. Those are kind of fun. What options do we have? Quit. Fare thee well. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That was kind of weird. Is everything okay? Just kind of surprised me there. Decided that it was going to go full screen. Oh, he is in chat. He is setting up. Alright, let me know when you're ready and we can get started. Or I can pass on the torch as you like. So this is Catacombs 3D. This is actually the first one that was produced, and it plays a little bit differently than the last, than the other Catacombs. I think this one was actually made by ID Software, and the other ones, or you know, the original guys, they're all made by ID. But I think as the team grew, the idea of what kind of game to make changed over time. So we can begin a hard game, and we get a much more basic view here. Funnily enough, the controls are almost exactly the same. We get a scroll that we can look at later. We get a shot with this that we can spam. However, we do get this charge shot, which is a little bit stronger. And well, actually take these guys down in a single hit. The health meter is not numbered, so you don't get numbers for the health. Instead, you just get this graphical representation of your health. The bolts and nukes are different keys, B and N, respectively. And they work exactly the same. Bolts are the line shots, and then the nukes are the fireball type things. think there's a hidden wall around here somewhere. Maybe not. So here you just try and get from portal to portal. I just noticed the compass. There are keys, key doors, portal things right there that you go into. The enemies end up being a little easier to manage as well. Maybe it was because I was playing on warrior difficulty that the zombies took so much, but yeah, I don't know if the Catacombs of Its Wolfenstein 3D. Yeah, this is before Wolfenstein 3D. This is kind of like almost a prototype for it. So I think there's stuff behind this one, yeah. Alright, good to go. Alright, so this is the bolt, the same sort of shot. That's the chart shot, and this is the nuke, where it's like huge. And then you heal up, and you can see I'm taking damage from somewhere. There it is. And eventually it just turns into a skeleton. Alright, and thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy the rest of the marathon. Better luck next time.